So how was it?
No, we just recorded an episode on the 1956 movie The Killing, directed by Stanley Kubrick. Have you seen that movie?
No, sir.
So
I'll put it in my notes.
I'm going to urge you to check it out. It's available on YouTube.
The Killing?
The Killing, 1956, starring Sterling Hayden.
Okay.
And it's available on YouTube. And I don't mean like it's a shitty copy on YouTube. Like YouTube does movies and television.
Why do they do that?
You know, it's just, well, they're owned by Google or Alphabet. You know, they're trying to throw their hat into the streaming ring, if you will. And YouTube Premium, which again,
you still pay for that?
It will be the last service I stop paying for.
Right.
Meaning, if I had Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, all of them, and they said, Dana, you can only have one, YouTube Premium.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's more than just the movies. I mean, there's so much stuff on YouTube.
It's commercial-free YouTube.
I'm on YouTube for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's ad-free YouTube.
Yeah.
It will change your life. I remember one time I turned my YouTube on my television, and for some reason I had been signed out, and I'm going to start a video of a topic I was interested in, and I was hit with like 2 ads that I couldn't skip. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, it's annoying.
So
how much do you pay a month?
So there's a weird workaround, okay?
Okay.
So Apple, if you subscribe through Apple, they have a 30% cut that Apple takes. So YouTube passes that cost along to you. So
okay.
$18.99 through Apple, through the Apple subscription. But if you go on your desktop and you go to YouTube through your desktop, which is not a Mac, but like a PC.
Okay.
And you sign up, it's like $13.99 a month.
It's okay. It's cheaper.
So it's cheaper if you sign up through a Windows PC.
Oh, all right. Well,
Yeah.
I just on the way here, I just got a coffee and added an extra shot.
Yeah.
$6
For the extra shot.
Well, no, the extra shot was $2, but just the coffee or the espresso plus that's half that right there, just from a coffee coming over here.
Let me tell you something. Yeah. Speaking of coffee,
I can do that now.
We like to have a little whipped cream in our coffee in the morning. Usually get the sugar-free kind, all right? It's a nice little tasty treat, if you will.
Right.
$6 for a can of whipped cream.
You can make your own. You just got to
just bring it from the restaurant.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or if you get like half and half, you could just whip it really fast.
Exactly.
You could do that.
Exactly. It's insane. But so back to The Killing. Killing. So The Killing.
1956.
Okay. Listen. Stanley Kubrick. You've heard the name.
I'm in there, yes.
You know the name.
You got me there.
It's only his 3rd movie, right? Here's another selling point. It's an hour and 20 minutes long.
All right, I'm in. I'm in on that.
Okay, but it deals with things that had never been done before. Non-linear storytelling. Okay, it's about a heist. It's about a group of 5 guys that are going to rob a racetrack in Los Angeles.
Like a racetrack gas station?
No.
Sorry, Dana. That was too easy.
And so,
like a dog track or a horse track?
Like a horse track.
Okay.
Has incredible horse racing sequences in it for a movie in 1956.
So The Killing means we're going to make killing of amount of money.
Exactly.
All right?
Exactly.
All right.
So it introduces the 5 characters, and each character has their own assignment. Think like an Ocean's 11 type thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
And what it does is the movie takes you through that robbery, each character at a time.
Yep.
So it keeps time jumping back to different parts, and it's really good.
Doesn't Reservoir Dogs kind of do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So
okay.
So and Tarantino has cited The Killing as an inspiration.
He has.
Oh yeah,
of course.
Watch it.
I did not connect that.
I don't think you're going to be disappointed.
Right.
I really don't think you're going to be disappointed. It was really good. And then David Klein and I recorded an episode on it. So
you guys talked about that?
We did. We did a whole episode. So I would recommend watch the movie. And that episode it'll be out probably a week after this episode drops.
So to connect the story of Dazed and Confused episode to something I've been doing, Mel listens to a lot of audiobooks, but I can't, if I'm going to listen to something in a car, it's either news or like your podcast or something. That's about it, right? I can't do an audiobook, but she does. But I'll get a book though. So she'll hear something so anyway, I got McConaughey's book called Green Lights.
Oh.
Okay. She totally recommended it based on her listening to the audio book. It's pretty much an autobiography, like his life story.
Memoir.
Yeah, pretty much. This dude he is what a life he's had.
Huh.
his upbringing, you will not believe what he tells you about his dad, his mom, and his brothers. Cannot believe it. And what green lights means and all this stuff. So to connect to Dazed and Confused and him being kind of like, that's his first movie, right? Like that's where he, got on the scene. This book, you just cannot believe what's made him him.
And I'm assuming he narrates the audiobook.
Yeah, yes, he does. And that's why Mel loves it, because you hear his voice and how he just kind of interprets things. Like, I just can't do it. But I read like 2, 3, 4 pages every night. Like, that's it. Like, that's how I read a book.
Right.
I'll read a couple. I feel like I educated myself, and then I just watch TV until I fall asleep. But anyway, very interesting read there. But just to connect,
I'm gonna do the audiobook on that, because I have a 45-minute drive to work to and from. So
it's a slam dunk, definite listen.
If I'm not listening to my podcast, then I'm listening.
You should. So, do you listen to your shows?
Well, I will after I post one, just to kind of listen to it.
And how was the last one? That one we did with Major League.
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
I love that episode.
Yeah, I had a blast, obviously, doing it. I can't wait for the next live commentary.
If you haven't listened to it yet, it's available. It's on the feed. It's been out for a little bit.
And you don't have to love baseball for that. I mean, you could just like comedies or just in general. I mean, it's a fun movie, but it's hilarious. And if you like baseball, it just...
But it's also very informative. I learned so much more about the game from your expertise.
Hey, thanks.
So, hey, Bill, welcome to the Dana Buckler Show. I just realized we haven't done the introduction yet.
Our little warm up. Thank God you hit the button when I walked in the room.
Let me just double check. I did hit record.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
Hey, welcome to the Dana Buckler Show.
Thanks.
Welcome back. So,
nice. Oh, I always mention your candle too.
Yeah.
Dana always has a candle. We actually have 2 candles today.
We have
vanilla brulee.
Yes, and then I don't even know what this is. Hang on, just
careful now. There's a lot of liquid in there.
It's extremely hot. This is I can't read it.
Don't spill
that would have been really bad.
We could have done a Madonna Sharon Stone kind of melted wax there.
Oh God, no.
Sorry, what movie was that? All right.
Melted wax.
He was pouring it on her.
Was that? I can't remember.
So it wasn't Basic Instinct.
No,
but
think
it was.
That sounds like was that the Willem Dafoe movie that she was in? That that was Madonna was in.
I think the melted wax pouring is Madonna.
Yeah, that wasn't Sliver.
No, it's not Sliver.
That
was
William Baldwin and Sharon Stone with the UB40 song cover of "Can't Help Falling in Love." So this is
Madonna.
Okay,
it's Madonna.
Body of Evidence was the name of the movie.
We go.
Body of Evidence. That's it.
Dana, you're so good.
I haven't seen that movie since it came out. I saw it the once.
The Once.
That
should be another show. The Once.
A movie we've only seen once, and we watch it again.
Who doesn't want to see melted wax poured on Madonna?
I mean,
maybe not now, but back then, yes.
So this is a catching up episode. We do these, 3 or 4 times a year just to kind of catch up on what's been going on, what's going on in the world with us, and, talk about some things that we've been watching.
Yes.
I will say real quick, I had the opportunity to go to a Tampa Bay Lightning hockey game.
Yeah, you had good seats.
Yes, big thanks out to Steve and Andrea Allen for inviting Jess and I to go.
Steve Allen, what a good dude.
Yeah, great guy. And it was a situation where it was a luxury suite hosted by Truist Wealth Management. And I have had the opportunity to go to attend sporting events and concerts in suites. Tillander Suite, for example, in Orlando.
Our friend Bobby.
And this was just on that level. You walk in and they had, chilled seafood towers, filet mignons.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
No, I usually get chicken tenders and some chips.
Poached lobster.
Oh, come on.
I'm
for
not
real?
making this up. And a bartender set up there with draft beer, with cocktails, and it was all you can eat, all you can drink.
Well, that's nice.
And
that's a little more than normal.
The host there, Thomas Fontana, I've known him from my interactions with him at the restaurant, and he was like, "I'm so glad you're here," and blah, blah, blah. You always take such good care of us at the restaurant. Please enjoy yourself.
That's
Have fun.
Cool.
It was a blast.
That's one way to watch hockey.
And a big thank you to your friend Bobby at the district.
Oh, yeah. Be love.
Because I haven't been to a hockey game in 15 years, and I was like, well, we're in Florida, but does it get cold in there? He's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I said, well, I'll have to get a sweatshirt. He's like, I got you covered.
He's the best. Be love.
B-Love, thank you.
You can't go wrong with that guy, man.
Good guy. Really good guy. So a wonderful time. High-scoring game. 7-4.
Beautiful.
That is a high-scoring game
we won,
for hockey.
right? We won that night.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yes.
And here's another thing I've learned, all right? And I don't want a hot take. You ready for a hot take? Okay?
Yes, sir.
Here's a hot take.
Bring it. Throw it over here. I'll catch it. Throw
Tampa.
Bay.
That's
a Buccaneers thing.
That's a Buccaneers thing. Okay, so Tampa, thriving metropolitan, growing
like crazy.
Love it. Love it.
Downtown Tampa's changed like
it's incredible.
Nothing like it used to be. It's amazing.
It's incredible. Tampa's amazing.
Yes, it is.
I'll take Tampa over Orlando every day of the week.
It's weird to hear that, but it's true.
Yeah, from the infrastructure to the airport to everything.
Yes.
Here's the thing I don't get. All right. I've had the pleasure of going to a couple Tampa Bay Buccaneers games with you and your wonderful wife, Mel.
Thank you. Go Bucs.
And Raymond James Stadium, okay, efficiently run, thoroughly cleaned.
It's okay.
Thoroughly clean. Mm-hmm. It is a well-oiled machine.
It is.
They got it all figured out.
It could be better, but it's good. It's
Tampa
great.
Bay Buccaneers fan base, awesome.
Solid.
So they're big time. They support their team.
50 years this year, by the way.
That's incredible.
50 years.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Okay. Tampa Bay Lightning. Okay. Sold out game. Crowd is going crazy. They've got a really, really good fan base.
They've adopted hockey.
They have. Well, they have 3 Stanley Cups.
And you have a lot of people from up north that have moved to Florida that were hockey fans there that now live in Tampa.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's what I don't get.
I know where you're going.
You know where I'm going with this.
We're talking baseball.
We're talking baseball.
This is sad. Yes.
What's up with the Rays? I don't get it.
All right. Here's my take. Now, say why.
Well, so for the listeners out there, let me. I love going to baseball games. I know some people say baseball is a boring sport. I disagree. Baseball is a battle between pitcher and batter, and it's a chess match.
It's America's pastime.
And I love watching baseball. And baseball is one of those sports where it doesn't matter who's playing on TV. I can just sit back and relax. It's somewhat calming. It's a calming thing to watch.
Right.
So I love going to live baseball games. And I've been to 15, 20 Tampa Bay Rays games. We went to 4 last year. No one shows up.
Right.
No one. And that obviously the Trop is a terrible place to play baseball.
It's just outdated and
it's
old.
Outdated.
Yes.
It's just not good.
Not when every other stadium out there is.
But the Tampa Bay Rays, they're not the Chicago White Sox, all right?
They're good.
They're good.
They're really good.
Consistently a good team.
For a long time.
All right?
Yes.
What's going on there?
Okay.
What's going on?
Couldn't be more frustrating for me growing up in the Tampa area as a baseball player.
Yeah.
So let's start from the beginning.
Okay.
We'll do this quick.
All right.
In the 80s, there was teams rumored to move to Florida, like to relocate. Seattle Mariners, Chicago White Sox, as you mentioned earlier, and the San Francisco Giants, all rumored to leave their cities and move to Florida, relocate. All right. So,
and at the time, Florida does not have a baseball team.
We didn't. There's no Marlins. There's no Rays. Right. And the closest team is the Atlanta Braves in North Georgia. So, and on top of that, Florida is just a hotbed of athletes, young sports athletes. Baseball is, if you look at Florida, Texas, and California, probably the top 3 states for baseball, football, whatever. Athletes, young athletes everywhere. High-ranking high school teams, in college, all the above. So why wouldn't baseball be amazing in Florida?
Right.
Okay. So those teams didn't relocate. They stayed, and then it sat empty. They built that stadium then.
They built the Tropicana Field
in the 80s, and they built it quick because they were trying to get a deal to get one of these teams there.
And for our listeners who don't know, Florida is unbelievably hot. We're already starting to feel the humidity here in May.
Yeah.
And
and rain in the summer.
So this is an indoor facility.
Yeah, they built a dome in almost like a multi-specialty, multi-sport dome that could house anything. It wasn't exactly just for baseball, so that's part of it. And they built it huge and big, and it's hard to navigate, but they threw it together really fast. They didn't plan and all this stuff because they were just trying to get a proposal together. So anyway, stadium was built fast, team didn't come, and then when Major League Baseball expands, they add the Marlins instead of Tampa. So the organization itself just was never really like tight. and with a good plan. So they got passed up on the first expansion, and then baseball expanded again, finally got a team in Tampa. And that organization, as good as they are in building a team and a franchise, they're equally as bad in connecting with the locals. So there's a million Rays fans in Tampa. If you go to any bar, any dive bar, beach bar, sports bar, Rays fans everywhere.
Yeah.
They love the Rays. They just don't go to that stadium. Yeah. So they have a huge fan base. They're well loved. And they've been they almost got to the World Series. I think we were in the World Series.
They were in the World Series.
Made the World Series, been in the playoffs tons of time. We're always over 500 with one of the lowest amounts of revenue of any team.
Yeah, low payroll. Yeah, the whole nine.
They've had amazing coaches. They've had great lineups, great rosters. They do a poor job getting people to go to that stadium. One, because it's old and outdated, and it's not fun there, and you can't even navigate around the damn thing. So there's just so many moving parts. It's a shame. The fans are there. They just don't go to the games. And now they can't figure it out now. It's still a mess now.
So now, just to point a couple things out here. So the Tropicana Field is actually located in St. Petersburg, Florida. So St. Pete.
Downtown St. Pete.
So when you're in Tampa and you make the decision to go to a game, it could be with traffic a 45-minute drive.
Or longer.
Or longer.
Okay. And that's after work, and you don't have time to go home.
Yeah.
And then guess what? You also don't attract anyone in Orlando.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's no way you're going to go from Orlando all the way to Tampa and then across the bay and then down to Pinellas. Sarasota's probably not coming over. So you have the villages, you have all the retirement people in Sarasota, Bradenton area, you have all of Orlando, and even up here in Ocala, you have all this Central Florida area. Nobody goes to the Rays games because it's just tucked in there hiding in downtown St. Pete, which is a great downtown, by the way.
I go downtown to St. Pete Grand Prix every year.
Right.
Love it.
And they don't have a problem getting people to go to that.
No, nothing's sold out every time.
But to get people to go every day or like 4 times a week to downtown St. Pete when you have this whole Central Florida. So the team needs to be in Tampa.
Yes.
Okay, St. Pete doesn't want to hear that. The team needs to be in Tampa Bay area somewhere where you can attract Central Florida. And then Tampa obviously is proven to go to games.
Sure.
But you have this internal fight. I mean, they even said they were going to split the season one year and they were going to have half the home games in Montreal and then half in, I mean, they can't figure out what to do. But if you ask me, the team needs to be in Tampa. The stadium needs to be state of the art with hotels and bars and restaurants around it. Maybe even a potential, near water. There's so many things. And there are some spots. There's like 3 spots they could put this thing. I just think the city of St. Pete somehow, or they just won't let it leave St. Pete. So it's a shame. I heard they're going to rebuild the stadium, but I don't know. It's frustrating. It's sad.
Yeah.
My whole life, I'm a Braves fan. I'd love to be a Rays fan.
Yeah.
But, same thing. We went, because the stadium took a huge hit.
Yeah. For the listeners
from
out
the
there, the hurricane came in and just literally tore the roof off the stadium.
Yeah, and the rest of the stadium looks like a hurricane hit it anyway. So it's trash. So they're actually playing in the Yankees spring training stadium, which is like 5,000 or 6,000 seats.
And
they still don't even sell that out.
That was the next thing I was going to point up. So I did the math. That thing seats 12,000 people.
Where?
The Steinbrenner Field.
Oh, it does.
12,000.
Oh, I didn't know it was that big.
They still had seats available on opening day.
I almost bought. So I figured they would sell that out.
Yeah.
Like I figured Tampa was like, you know what, screw it. We're going to just sell out all these games. Yeah. And they are not selling out.
No.
That franchise has done such a shitty job. And I only can say that based on the results of no one going to the games. They've done a shitty job connecting with the fans. I went to the Rays series. We went to one of the games. We were supposed to go to 2, but only ended up going to 1. And that wasn't even sold out with Atlanta. So, unfortunately, they just can't figure it out.
I'm going to tell you something real quick.
It's a shame.
All right? So, I'm doing this in real time, all right?
Yeah.
All right, so
sometime last, whenever.
So, I'm pulling up Tampa Bay Rays right now. And this is I'm using SeatGeek. This is not even directly from the website for the Rays. Are you ready?
Yeah.
$5 tickets for the Kansas City Royals. Okay? The Yankees are playing, and this tickets start at $24 for the New York Yankees.
There's something wrong here.
Okay?
That doesn't make sense.
$19 tickets for the Brewers, $7 tickets for the Blue Jays, $5 tickets for the Marlins.
These are major league regular season games.
Yes.
When you could go to a game and be right.
$6 for the Houston Astros.
This is unreal.
I mean, as a baseball person, I'm going to take advantage of those prices, and I'm going to go.
Yeah, trust me, we're going to go to more games this summer. Now, here's the other thing. I thought about buying season tickets.
Yeah.
Because I figured I could resell them, right?
No.
Thank God I didn't, right?
Yeah.
So we got on a waiting list, got emails. We were talking to their ticket people. Okay, this is how effed up they are.
Yeah.
So they started with their most expensive seats that they made available, right? So right behind home plate, unlimited alcohol, unlimited food, waiter coming the whole time, which seems a little bougie for a baseball game.
Yeah.
That's not even a club. That was just seats. There's no club. Okay, guess how much one seat was for the whole season?
How much?
And a home game in baseball is 81 home games.
And this was prior to the start of the season?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So 81 home games. Go.
$30,000.
No way.
Yeah, for one seat. And we were going to buy three. I told Mel, I go, obviously no, right? I don't own my own company. We make good money, but like, give me a break. So then I was like, let's just wait and see, like, you know, as the seats go, how low. Then it was like the next section over was like 12,000, 10,000, 8. I was like, what are they smoking?
Right.
So I don't know if they just overcharged. They thought that, you know, they were going to just have this
Here we
abnormal.
are. We're in Tampa.
Yeah.
We have limited seating by Major League Baseball standards. Of course, we're going to be able to sell this thing out. No.
And what's so cool was the game we went to, we parked in the Bucks parking lot.
Yeah.
And there's a walkway over Dale Mabry. You all walk over, you go into this gate. It's it's fun. It's better than the other stadiums,
Well,
to be
I mean,
honest.
I've been to several spring training games there.
Yeah, it's cool.
There's not a bad seat
good
in the
enough.
house.
No. So this franchise is. What's crazy is that obviously the people that are picking the players and the franchise and all the scouts and all the player personnel, they're so good. They should be in charge of marketing this thing because they're one of they probably are the best for what they deal with money and revenue to get the product they have on the field. They should be in charge of marketing too, because I just don't know where the miss is. I don't know where it is. But anyway,
well,
that's obviously a sore subject. We stayed way longer on that, but it's because it's so sad in this area that the Rays aren't better than they are.
But here's the thing, as a baseball guy, I'm going to take advantage of those $5 tickets.
Oh yeah, we got to go.
I mean,
let's go to a game
with the fees. The ticket's going to end up costing me $30-$40 with all the fees that the third party won't charge. But still,
let's just go to a weekday game.
Yeah, I mean,
I like weekday games.
Where I live is less than an hour drive because I get on the Veterans Express.
Yep,
I get right off on Dale, and
easy.
I'm there. I'm
easy.
there.
To go see a Major League game.
To see a Major League Baseball game. And I love going to live sporting events.
Oh,
it's insane.
Anyway.
All right. Well, hey,
come on,
Bill.
Rays. Come on.
I know. And the thing is, they're a good team.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, $34 to see the New York Yankees. Like
that should be sold out. Now, usually, even in the old stadium, that game would sell out. So there's something wrong because the Yankee fans would fill the old one.
Yeah.
Like 30,000.
Yeah.
So how are they not selling?
You weren't getting a ticket for under $100 in the nosebleeds at Tropicana.
They obviously are doing just the worst job promoting this thing. I don't get it.
Yeah. All right.
Whatever.
So, Bill.
Yeah, man.
Since the last time we've done a catching up episode, movies, television.
I've got a bunch.
Yeah, let's start with some TV.
Yeah, I have 3 sections here.
Let's go with some TV. Tell me what you've been watching.
I'll give you a couple new ones.
Okay.
And a couple probably that have been around a while.
Okay.
And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 6 on my TV show list.
Okay.
I'll just say them all, and then you figure out which one or two you want me to talk about. So here's an older series, I think kind of out of maybe England.
Okay.
Kind of has that British kind of feel. So I don't know if it's BBC or Sky Cinema or whatever. I think it's on probably season 4 or 5, so it's very successful. I just started watching it. Somebody told me. I don't know if you told me, and I forget, or someone else told me, but the show is called Alex Rider.
I've heard of it, but it wasn't me that recommended it because I have not seen it.
So somebody told me to watch it. And, if you know me, I'll watch an episode or two or half an episode, and then I'll leave it and go back. I'm very consistent when it comes to movies or shows. But I've been staying on it, right? So I'm still in season 1. I probably only watched 5 episodes, but it's really good. So it's a teenage kind of spy thriller.
Okay.
and he kind of gets recruited by MI6. What's the British?
MI5, MI6, something like that. Yeah.
So he gets recruited by like the British intelligence organization, and he's, at least in season 1, they kind of found this like kind of private school that seemed to be training kids to kind of come back and out into the real world and assassinate like people, like rich.
Oh,
yeah. So military type rich kind of thing. So, but anyway, I think in later seasons, he becomes one of like a really good kind of British spy. But I'm still, he's actually still in the school. They sent him in there so he was a real kid, like, and just living life, but his dad was an agent and he ended up getting killed. So then they sent him to the school. So anyway, it's kind of cool. So anyway, that's Alex Rider. Yeah, it's really good. Really well done.
Violent, like a TVMA rated show? Or
not really violent. Just
language?
Maybe a little teenage kind of stuff. So not over the top or anything.
All right.
Very well, really well written.
Okay.
Everything comes out of England usually well written.
Usually, yeah.
So it's really well done. So I'm on season 1. It's a total recommend. So, and then 3 new ones is Your Friends and Neighbors on Apple. John Hamm's a huge favorite of mine.
I have yet to dive into this one, but I'm hearing great things.
So we might get back to that one. White Lotus, season 3.
Stop there for a moment. Okay.
Dana's pinching his forehead.
I have not seen a single episode of White Lotus.
Not 1, 2, or 3.
None of them.
We've had this conversation, I think, like 3 years in a row.
It's because
why?
I don't know. For some reason, I get so, when everybody loves something and it becomes like bigger than what the show is, like everybody's hyping it, and I'm always like,
oh, it's a slow death, slow burn.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait
till he's done.
I'm gonna wait until this thing is off the air, like I did with Breaking Bad.
I did that too.
I never started Breaking Bad until it ended in 2013. And then in 2014, I started watching the show at my own pace.
Right.
And loved it, obviously.
And talk about episodes in length. Like, there's 1 million episodes and a lot of seasons. That took me a long time.
I had a blast, though.
Yeah, I did too. What a great show. So White Lotus is just a slow burn. I think obviously on purpose, right? Like, this is written on purpose.
Okay, so
it drags
for the people out there that still have no idea what people out there what have no idea what White Lotus is, like myself,
HBO.
What's the 30-second pitch?
Okay,
what is the show about?
So psychoanalysis of social behavior and multiple personalities intertwining together.
Wow. Okay. Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Okay.
Thank you. And just situations that maybe happen throughout a lifetime, all within 1 week of vacation, and they've all happened at 3 different hotel resorts.
So question is, it's on its 3rd season.
Yes.
So is each season represent that 1 week of vacation?
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
So season 1 was at the White Lotus, which I think is 4 seasons. And I'm totally choking here on season 1 where it was at.
Somewhere in Asia, right? Like Bali?
No, that was 2. Season 2 is... season 2 was Italy.
Italy, okay.
And season 3 was in Thailand.
Okay.
And season 1, I'm blanking. But they've connected some characters from 1 to 2 and 2 to 3.
Gotcha, okay.
Okay, but they're totally different times. But you follow a couple, a family, or a individual guest throughout that weekend or week. It's probably about a week at the White Lotus at each one. But they've connected some characters. I mean, Stifler's mom's in it. My God, why wouldn't you want to watch it? And she's one of the most beloved characters of all of the White Lotus.
She's hilarious.
She is hilarious. And you see her kind of personality and so she's in season 1 and 2, and they connect her in 3. So like she has a big part of this. But you see like in season 3, for example, there's a father of a family that's on this season 3 trip, and his dad, I think, was a U.S. senator, and this guy was the governor of Kentucky, and he also owns some businesses. And you see him battle suicidal thoughts and stuff, and then you'll see other sexual tension and other couples, and then So there's less nudity in this one. So you see a lot of alcohol, drugs, nudity, and then just like severe mental psychoanalysis, all this crap, crazy stuff. There's a lot going on.
All right.
Yeah. So anyway, that's why.
But this is definitely a mature themed,
very, very
series.
mature.
Okay.
And each season is a very slow burn. Slow, like if you just Google White Lotus, it'll say drags on, too slow for me. But that's obviously on purpose. Like I remember watching season 1 going, I hate this show. I hate it. But I keep watching it because I want to see what happens. So they all climactic kind of, ep thing happens at the end. So you kind of see maybe what happens from the beginning of the season.
Right.
And you have to wait this whole time to get to the end to see like what giant thing's going to happen.
Slow burn, big time character development.
Gigantic more than probably most shows.
So by the time something happens to these characters, you've invested enough time with them that you probably know their personality to know how they're going to react to certain
than any show you've ever watched.
All right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put that on my, we're closed. We're something's wrong. I'm going to be out of work for a couple days. I need to.
It'd actually be cool to watch them in order, even though they kind of connect. But if you're going to do what you're doing, wait till I think it's Mike White. Wait till this director or writer just says we're done.
Yeah.
And he might do it now. I don't know. I think he should do another one. But wait till he finally says, I'm done. Then watch them.
Okay. All right.
So The Last of Us, obviously.
Okay. Let's talk about The Last of Us. All right. This is important. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm up to episode 3, season 2.
Gotcha. Okay. So I've only seen episode 2 so far of season 2.
Oh, you're watching it too?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I am. Because
that scene with the dance.
Well, let me say this, and we're going to keep this spoiler free.
Yeah, we have to totally spoiler free.
So here's the thing.
Wow.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't consider myself to be much of a video game player these days at 47 years old.
I'm not.
But I
didn't play this game.
I was of that generation that had, like you, that had the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, and all this stuff.
Right.
And when around 2000, when video games took what I call sort of a generational split, okay?
Sure.
Meaning you either went Team PlayStation or Team Xbox. Nintendo was doing its own thing, but you really had that choice. I went Team Xbox, okay? So throughout the 2000s, I was an Xbox guy.
Is that this one?
No, that's where I'm going with this. Okay, so where I'm going with this, okay?
Got it.
So throughout the 2000s and into the 2010s, I was Team Xbox. So this means that I was doing Halo, Gears of War. My Xbox originals were those games. Obviously,
so you couldn't play this.
So
I didn't know that. I didn't know all this.
So the PlayStation, which had a much larger fan base, PlayStation outsold Xbox 5-1 easily.
Really?
The Xbox 360 outsold the PlayStation 3, but that was an anomaly. PlayStation kind of always had more sales. PlayStation always seemed to have the better single player, games that were unique only to the PlayStation. What we call PlayStation exclusives.
Is there another one besides The Last of Us?
Yeah. There's
there's a lot of.
There's a lot of.
This was only PlayStation.
Like the Uncharted series and all that stuff. That's all PlayStation stuff.
Okay.
So The Last of Us comes out. It's exclusive to the PlayStation. I don't play it. I've never played it.
Right.
So when that show comes out, I watch the show, having never played the game, having no reference. So I just watched the show on its merit.
Same as me.
Okay.
Same as me.
And wow, that first season, wow.
Yes.
That's all I kept saying is wow.
Well, I was going, how's that in a game? How is this in a game?
Yeah. But I just kept saying this show just was so good. But here's the unique thing, the world we live in is you can go on YouTube and you can watch somebody play the game. They call these walkthroughs or playthroughs.
Yeah.
So when The Last of Us season 1 was done, I went on YouTube and started watching people playing the video game.
Oh, no way.
Because I wanted to compare how the video game was to the television show, and really, really accurate, like really, really close to it.
And you know what HBO does really good is after each episode, they'll have kind of commentary from like directors and writers and stuff and interview the cast. They really work hard to make sure they connect. that game.
So knowing that this television series so closely mirrors the game, when season 2 of The Last of Us was announced, I chose not to watch walkthroughs of The Last of Us Part 2, the video game.
And is that connecting this season?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
Right.
So I said to myself, I'm not, because I don't want to be spoiled.
Right, to know what happens, yeah.
And all I'm going to say is, if our listeners out there are not aware, and I'm not going to say what it is, there's an event that happens in episode 2.
Right, oh my God.
Which I'm going to dance around it and not say what it is.
Right.
But up until the very last moment, I still thought that this individual was going to end up being okay.
Yeah.
And they weren't.
I can't believe it, Dana.
And I was like,
I can't believe it.
So then what do I do? Because I'm like, I got to know. Like, was this...
Is that in the game?
And it is.
No way.
And it's very early on in the game.
So that's almost worst case scenario for a show or a movie. You're like...
But it's also...
It's awesome, though. But
ringing true. It's also following the source material, because apparently... I talked to some people that were big PlayStation gamers, and they're like, yeah, no, we were just as shocked when we played the video game.
But I understand now, after watching more, now I know why it's still intriguing.
Yeah.
I get what's happening. Yes. I understand.
But boy, did that was one of the drop the fork, I was eating dinner, but what?
But it also made me think, wow, this is a really good show. You're going to do that? Oh my gosh, no way. I couldn't believe it.
But I had to know if that was the decision that HBO made, or did that actually happen in the game? And it happens within the first hour of the game.
Oh, see, that's what I don't understand.
So
how does a game follow? How do
you ever played any video games?
Yeah, but not these type of games.
Did you ever play Grand Theft Auto? Did you ever play?
No. See, I don't know how a story would go, because the games, I'm going to be honest here with the listeners. Every game I've played besides just Nintendo, Mario and crap is a sports game. So I don't know how a theme or a show, I don't know a story. I don't get this. When you got
20 minutes.
How do you move on, though, in a game?
You got to watch it.
That's weird.
So I want you to go on YouTube. I want you to put in The Last of Us video game walkthrough.
Yeah.
And watch somebody play the game.
So answer me this.
You control a character.
But how does a game force you to like follow a story if you're just like how do you know when you've finished a scene or whatever? I don't get that.
Some of this stuff is video cut scenes where it looks like a movie, where your character's talking to somebody and they're told to go somewhere and do something.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden you take control of that character and you can move that character around. And there's little mini maps to tell you which way to go. And then you get into gunfights and you do it's
okay. Here's my only problem.
Go ahead.
And here's probably why I didn't follow this line. Because I remember watching someone play Halo when that first started.
Sure.
Which is maybe one of the earlier kind of
2000.
And what do they call it? First person what? I get a migraine.
So this is
this is probably why
The Last of Us is not a first person shooter.
Oh, it's not.
It's a third person, meaning you see your character on screen, like the full image of your character, and you control its movements.
I bet they did it on purpose, because I can't watch those.
Like, you ever play a baseball sports game?
Sure.
You know how you see your character at plate?
Yeah.
And you push button to control him?
Yeah.
Same thing?
No, I'm down with that then.
Yeah.
See, I purposely can't, like some of those, like Halo.
Yeah.
That's first person.
Yes. Call of Duty's first person.
I get nauseous, sick.
Sure.
I can't, like at Universal Studios, the old Back to the Future ride.
Yeah.
I'd come out of that sick.
Okay.
Like, oh my God, it's brutal.
But I say this about the show. I can't even call that a bold move on their part, because that is, if they're staying true to the source material, which is this video game,
right?
That's 100% accurate as to what happens in the game.
Well, good for them.
And again, we're being vague about it. Yeah. We're not going to say it, because if you are a fan of the show The Last of Us and you haven't started season 2, maybe you're the type of person who wants to wait until the entire season comes out and then binge watch it on your own time. We don't want to spoil this thing, but boy,
it's equally well done as the first season so
Absolutely.
far. It's so good.
Absolutely.
It's so well done.
It's a fantastic show.
It's amazing what effort they go into making stuff look like the game and all. It's awesome.
So,
and I don't even know. The director explains it after. I watched those cuts after.
Yeah.
And then I'm amazed how they follow.
I mean, they nailed it. They nailed it.
Anyway.
That's a great show. So on to our next.
Well, I'm rewatching Ted Lasso.
Sure. Okay. Good show. Good show.
Yeah, maybe I've talked about him a few times on the show. Maybe one of my favorite characters if I had to pick 10 just individual characters because of my sports background and then team building and communication stuff. And
didn't they steal the initial theme of that show from Major League?
It's pretty close because she's trying to ruin the team.
Trying to ruin the team.
I've been thinking since we did Major League.
Yeah.
And then I've been rewatching Ted Lasso. I've been thinking about Major League. Yeah. So a little bit.
Okay.
It's a little different because she was just trying to run it in the ground because she hated her ex-husband.
Yeah.
She wasn't trying to move the team, but it's similar idea. But I just love Ted Lasso and Beard and the way they run the team. But I'm rewatching it because that kind of Ryder Cup golf thing, that Turnpike Cup stuff, that you're involved with me. Thank you, by the way. For
looking forward to it. We got the
season. We're mid-season right now.
I know. I'm telling you, it's going to be exciting.
July is actually the tournament. Okay, if I could get you to just show up on site, you and Jess should just plan a little vacation and go for Saturday night at Hammock Beach. That would be phenomenal.
Where's Hammock Beach located?
Oh, Palm Coast.
Okay.
Beautiful resort, lazy river, pools and villas, and it's a gorgeous resort.
All right,
that'd be cool. Maybe you could just come for you could like kind of help commentate on site, live on site. But anyway, the theme of my team, since I'm captain this year, one of my themes is Ted Lasso.
Okay,
on the team, and I got because he's famous for having that believe sign that he puts in the locker room. I had that put on a towel, so all my guys, I've already given them a towel that says believe on it.
This is exciting.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm watching Ted Lasso again. Okay. I think he's doing one more season.
Yeah.
So I've rewatched season 1 probably 3 times, and it's always so good.
Great show.
It's amazing. So anyway, that's my TV show. Oh, and Andor.
Okay. So
one of your favorite.
Bill, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
Of all the people to be into Star Wars TV shows, you would probably be last on the list for me. I'm actually surprised to hear that.
I am last on the list, but the problem is I have so much pressure put on me by our friend Rob Main.
This is true, yes.
That every time you see him, he'll ask you, if there's a new Star Wars show, because they come up all the time.
There's a new one every week.
Can't even keep up. He'll ask you, hey, are you caught up on Skeleton Crew? Are you caught up on Andor? Did you watch Mandalorian? So I have to watch so he doesn't get mad at me.
Wow.
Yes, because he's a Jedi.
He is.
Rob Main is a Jedi. Yeah.
So I'm not knocking Rob Main at all. No. He's very passionate about it.
And it's his birthday, by the way.
Oh my God. Well, happy birthday.
Are we allowed to say that on the show?
Of course we can say that.
Happy birthday, Rob Main.
So I
think he's like 75.
That's young not. For a Jedi's live to 800, so he's just a Padawan.
He's not. He starts with a 5, I think.
Wow.
I did go to his 50th birthday, so I know that he's at least 50.
So Andor, this is season 2. Andor was a character from the movie Rogue One, which came out in 2016.
Yeah,
this
was
the
first the Revolution, or he's part of the Rebels.
I haven't watched Andor, but I'm assuming, since spoiler alert for a movie that's 9 years old, his character dies at the end of that movie. I'm assuming this is a prequel to the events leading up to him and his crew stealing the plans for the Death Star, so we can get the original Star Wars movie off the ground. My eyes are crossing just thinking about all of this.
Yeah.
What's interesting, here's the thing. All right. So Disney buys Lucasfilm 2012. They put out The Force Awakens, the first Star Wars movie, in 2015, 10-year anniversary. Saw that movie in the theater, had a great time, loved it. Still like that movie, Then every year they started putting more and more stuff out. Then when we get to Disney Plus, then they start The Mandalorian, the Book of Boba Fett, and they start putting out what I'll call, again, this is a personal opinion, Rob Main, but I just want to let you know that what I call...
We have to make sure Rob's not mad at us.
Subpar Star Wars. All right?
You mean all these shows?
All these shows.
Some of them are good. I like some.
Well, the thing is, the ones that I watched, I didn't find very entertaining. I didn't find very interesting, and I just was checked out.
How about Solo, that movie? That was pretty bad.
It wasn't great. Great.
But some of these TV shows,
but here's the thing. When you oversaturate a product, okay?
Sorry. Yeah. Marvel?
like Marvel did. Like Marvel should have taken a 5-year break after Endgame in 2019.
I can't. They're on my list here.
So they should have taken a break, but instead they doubled and tripled down with movies and TV shows, and none of them have been well received
in universes.
Yeah.
Movies in.
So what happens is when you oversaturate the product and you give us way more, and then you make it to the point where to understand what's happening in this television series, you would have had to have seen these 4 movies, and then you would have had to watch episode 6 of this television series to understand who this character is. When you make it so convoluted that the average or casual viewer who maybe wants to start a new television series hits play and is completely lost, you're
right.
So
how about the Easter eggs? I love that term.
But here's
you got to find the Easter egg,
Here's
Dana.
the thing. Like the Andor show, by all accounts, I've never seen it, is good Star Wars.
It is. It's actually, it's a great, I like it a lot.
I've heard it's really good.
Season 1 was really, really good.
But I couldn't be bothered to watch it because of all the crap they've sandwiched in between that show.
Right, so you give up on all of them because
I give up on all of it because I just don't
have
care.
3 in a row that suck, and then the one
I just don't care anymore. And I'm a huge Star Wars guy. I saw Return of the Jedi as a 5-year-old in the theater. It's my first movie memory. I love that shit.
Right.
I still go back and watch those original movies every once in a while. I'll do
the
all
original
3
one is awesome.
But I'll go through. I'll take a Sunday and watch all 3 back to
all
back,
3 are
6
great.
hours.
Yeah, they're great.
And have a great time. It's a great trilogy of movies.
Yep, agree. Is it the best trilogy? Not the best, but is it top? I know. I already know what that is.
There's not a lot of good trilogies.
Right.
Let's
so
be honest with you.
It's top 3 or top 5?
I mean, it's probably a 1 or 2.
Okay.
Because
Godfather.
Well, there's the thing. There's not a lot of great trilogies.
Right. So because
Godfather 1 and 2 are classics. They've both won Best Picture. Godfather 3 is not in the same league as those 2 movies.
But wasn't there a gap on that one?
There's a 15-year gap.
Right.
Okay.
So that's not like written.
I think arguably you could say the best trilogy would probably be the Lord of the Rings trilogy. And the reason for that is that's actually just one movie. They filmed that all together.
Time. Yeah.
So
that was smart.
It has a cohesiveness to it that even the free Star Wars movies don't have. So,
and some of these, something like that, that's so detailed, they're from books, right?
They're from books.
So I think that helps. That the books, if it's a really good book or trilogy of books or group of books.
I'll ask the listeners out there, is there a better trilogy than Star Wars or Lord of the Rings? I'll ask that question.
Yeah, because trilogies, that means 3, right, Dana?
That means 3.
I'm not a math major.
That means 3.
But there's some that have like lots of them, like 5 or...
To be fair,
trilogy.
Like even the Star Wars trilogy,
that's not a trilogy, I guess,
was not conceived as a trilogy.
Right.
It was one movie that became the highest grossing film of all time. They had to make a sequel, and that sequel did gangbusters, and they had to make a third one to wrap up the story. The Lord of the Rings was one complete story filmed over a 2.5-year period, and you know, the third one, Return of the King, won Best Picture.
There you go.
You know, so
anyway,
those movies are good. You know, I only watched them for the first time like 3 years ago. The Lord of the Rings movies.
See, I was locked into them because my dad was a book reader. I'm not, but I've already proven that on the show. But my dad had those books. I grew up seeing that, like those books, like in the house. He read all that stuff. So I was like, I had to watch those shows.
So is Andor good? Is season 2 off to a good start?
So I put it on my list because I'm watching it. But I've watched it. By the time I get to that one, I'm at the end of the day. And I'm like kind of like falling asleep.
Yeah.
So I've rewatched the first episode 3 times. So I can't say I'm not falling asleep because the show's bad. It's just that I'm so tired. So I can't say. But I wanted to bring it up because I am watching it and I'm trying to watch season 2. But season 1 was great, and and it feels like this is equally kind of interesting. I just don't know yet.
Okay, we'll be interested to see, because this is a prequel series, so you can only go so long.
It's Star Wars. They could find other tangents
before you get into the
where he
before we get to Rogue One.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else on your TV list?
Well, I mean, I'd like to kind of mention Your Friends and Neighbors. I mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
Such an interesting premise. And so I've only watched, I think, 3 of the episodes so far, but the premise is kind of funny to me because I kind of connect with this guy a little bit. And I forget what you were saying earlier when I first came over, that you kind of connect with a character from a show. But I kind of connect to him. Some of his good traits, some of the bad ones I don't connect with. But, he's like a stockbroker. He's a broker of some kind, like really high level broker in a big city. And he gets fired.
Okay.
So now he's in this like giant neighborhood, like really high end neighborhood with rich friends. And he's like, what do I do? He's looked at a couple agencies and just nothing's working out. And he ends up, I think, going over to somebody's house and stealing a watch or something.
Okay.
So like he's trying to come up with this side hustle, side business.
So is it like a dark comedy?
It's a dark comedy, not super dark, but a kind of a dark comedy where he kind of ends up kind of making money on the side. But I think what happens is late in probably the next 2 episodes, he's going to uncover one of his neighbors is probably really bad, and then somehow gets. Maybe, I don't know if he's like fighting with him or he joins. I don't know what's going to happen.
All right. Well, I'm interested in this. This sounds good.
But he ends up literally as a burglar going into a couple neighbors' houses with people he doesn't really like. And he steals a watch, and I think he steals a bottle of wine that's worth like $30,000. He ends up pawning the watch off. It was like a $300,000 watch that this one pawn shop says, no, I'm not touching it. Goes to another pawn shop that they recommend because he didn't have papers or a box. And then she buys one of the watches, and it's a hilarious scene where he's trying to negotiate. I mean, this guy's a multi-million-dollar broker. Now he's trying to negotiate he ends up selling the watch for like $60,000, but somehow he probably uncovers something bigger than he thinks.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I'm in,
and it's Apple TV. It's well written. They got so much money.
Yeah.
They just it's really well done. So anyway, that's where I'm at with that.
So speaking of Apple TV, there's a television series that I started watching called The Studio.
I'm writing that down right now.
And this is Seth Rogen.
What's he do?
So he works for a big. This is a fictional movie studio, but it's one of the big players, like a Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney type thing. It's called Continental Films. And at the beginning of the first episode, he gets promoted to head of the studio. And what
Seth Rogen.
Okay. Yeah, gets committed. He gets promoted to head of the studio.
Okay.
And he's so like ready to start making the movies that we all beg for, the smart films and all this stuff. And he quickly negotiates with Martin Scorsese, and this television series is chock full of cameos, like everyone from Ron Howard to the list goes on. Olivia Wilde, everybody's
kind of like Entourage did with sports athletes.
It's a perfect. It's Entourage, but set in the world of studio filmmaking.
See, sometimes I get stuff right.
That's exactly how I would describe the show, and they even reference Entourage in the show. No
way,
they really do. So
I did not know that for the listeners. It just popped in my little brain.
And Bryan Cranston plays the owner of the studio.
Okay.
And so there's a great scene, and I'm going to mild spoilers for the first movie. Mild spoilers for the first episode. But he's so naive, thinking that he is now the head of the studio, that he can he greenlights Martin Scorsese. He wants to make a movie about the Jonestown massacre, and he wants to make it for $10 million. He buys the script for $10 million. He's so excited, and then he meets with Bryan Cranston. It's like, no, your job is to make the studio money,
right?
And the only way you make money is by making movies with established IP and brands that people know, which is so true of what Hollywood's doing. And Bryan Cranston says to him, do you realize that we just got the rights to Kool-Aid? We're going to make a Kool-Aid movie.
No way.
And I don't want to
say. That's pretty funny.
So, but it's so accurate on what is going on in contemporary Hollywood filmmaking.
So how do actors feel when they're making fun of the industry that they're in? Like, is there a certain group of actors that know they're way offline and full of shit? Or they're like, where is this industry going?
You got to watch the show. So like I was telling you, if there was ever a show
like
that
MacGruber.
Was made for me,
MacGruber, right? No,
like this is the show.
Okay.
Because I went into it completely understanding how fucked up the contemporary Hollywood filmmaking is. And this this television series so perfectly portrays exactly what's wrong with the modern state of Hollywood. It's amazing and it's hilarious.
It's on Apple TV.
It's on Apple
Is it
TV.
on my streaming
Yes,
service?
it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is. So it's called The Studio.
Okay.
And it's very smart. And each episode's only 30 minutes long.
Perfect.
And it's good. There's a great episode featuring Ron Howard. I don't want to say anything, and Anthony Mackie, and I don't want to say anything more than that.
Okay.
But it's awesome.
I'm in.
So, but you just nailed it. It's Entourage.
Yeah.
That's exactly the type of show it is.
It just popped in my little head.
Perfect. All
Thank
right.
you.
So what do you got for some movies? Go
I
through
have
your
some
list, and
movies.
we'll talk about them.
Now you know I always have a couple kids movies,
Okay.
right? And I hadn't wrote it down, but it popped in my head while we were sitting here. So we went to the theater to see Minecraft.
Okay.
And my buddy Jack Black. But my son, speaking of like being true to a game. So what's interesting here, I found out from my son Cash. He's 9 now. He's played a lot of Minecraft. He's not a freak, but he's played a lot. Like he's not like all into it, but he knows enough. There was a scene in this movie where I guess the best Minecraft player in the whole world has passed away from cancer, and all Minecraft players know this, and he's honored. He's a legend, right? This guy's a legend. And I'm forgetting his name, and I'm so sorry that I don't have it in front of me. But his avatar icon for his game was this kind of, I think, a pig with a crown.
Right.
So there's a scene in the movie where you see his character kind of walk across, and Jack Black, somebody goes, "Who's that?" And Jack Black kind of says, "Oh, he's a legend," and he kind of goes away. They don't say his name or anything, but they reference him in the movie.
So this was a real person that passed away.
Yeah, a real game player that's literally the most famous
And
Minecraft player in the whole world.
The movie puts a little tribute to him in the movie.
Yes, that was cool.
And Cash identified it.
He did. He nailed it.
That's actually pretty awesome.
But knowing how smart my son is, he probably caught it, like probably on YouTube on
Right.
something, and then sold me on it. But he knew who that was.
That's actually pretty awesome.
Yeah, legendary player that I think Mr. Beast kind of was famous for having play against this guy, and so whatever. It's kind of cool. So I like that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then, Jack Black is Jack Black. The only other thing I'll say about this movie, because Jack Black, I love him, is it almost feels like they let him kind of put like his little Jack Black spins on everything.
Right.
And if you close your eyes and watch this movie, you hear a little bit of Nacho Libre. You hear the ninja movie. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking.
Kung Fu Panda.
Kung Fu Panda. You hear all of his little things where normally you wouldn't catch all of his little. You hear all of them. He just puts them into the movie, which is kind of funny.
All right.
But it's kind of a silly movie. But anyway. Staying on silly, Electric State just came out. I think it's Netflix.
Yeah, so Electric State, a movie that I have not seen.
Don't watch it.
It is, here's what I understand about the movie.
Big budget.
It's directed by the Russo brothers. These are the guys that did the Marvel Avengers.
Oh, they did.
Endgame and Infinity War and all
They
that
did?
stuff. Yeah, they made a lot of money and all that stuff. But, here's the thing. They were given like a $300 million budget
Why?
to make this movie. But here's the thing I don't understand. Okay. Why is right? Because when you make a movie for $300 million, you need to make some money back on that.
I know. What are they paying for?
You're not making any money back because your entire revenue stream is subscribers. You make a $300 million movie, you need to put that in the cinema to try to recoup some of that money.
Is it at the movies?
No, it never played in the theater.
That's crazy.
So that is like, and I've heard it's awful. I've heard it's not good.
I watched the whole thing.
I've heard Chris, what's his name?
Pratt?
Chris Pratt's trying to do a Han Solo in this movie.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's awful.
Okay.
I've heard it's an awful movie.
It's that show If that I like?
Yeah.
It's almost like If meets like Robot World or something, and Guardians of the Galaxy and Borderlands, and it's bad. And it has this other guy that's in every movie now, and he's kind of like the bad guy kind of villain that turns out now he's
Are you talking about Giancarlo Esposito?
Oh my gosh.
He is in everything.
It's too much, right?
Him and Pedro Pascal.
There's another one.
They're in everything.
Listen, good for their bank accounts, but this guy, so here's the problem with that. So I'm watching this movie, and I'm trying to watch it to see if it's worthy for me and my son to watch it. And I had my son watch the trailer, and he like didn't give a shit. He didn't even want to watch it, but I still wanted to watch this whole movie just and see if I could talk my son into watching it. And I'm not gonna. It's stupid. But when I saw that guy's character show up in a movie, I went, "Oh my God, why is he in this one too? It's too much." And then I checked out on that whole character because of that.
He's in a video game as the bad guy, Far Cry 6 or whatever. Yeah. I started playing that game a couple of years ago, and the cuts to him, and I'm like, oh, he's in this game. He's in everything. Hold on.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm very clear. He's a very good actor.
Oh, he's excellent. He's amazing. That's why he shouldn't be in this. He's excellent.
He kills it in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, and back in 1989's Do the Right Thing. He is phenomenal in that film. So we're not knocking.
He's in The Boys.
Yeah. He's in
The Boys.
He is in The Boys.
He's in everything.
Everything.
And is a similar character too, by the way. But
it's like The Rock. In everything.
But the female lead role in Electric State, she's from Stranger Things.
Well, a show I've never seen.
Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not interested.
So she, to me, is highly attractive and unique in her own way. And
Millie Bobby Brown is her name.
And I want to just see her character. I mean, I don't know. I just think she's very attractive and cool looking and stuff. But her character, it just misses on every. This whole movie is a miss so bad.
It looks like
so
it.
Anyway, I watched A Working Man, which
Working Man.
So let me say something first, because I know that I think I tried to get you to watch this. So I'm on TikTok for like promoting restaurants and like a local wannabe influencer, if you will. And I've been TikToking like burger places. I actually had a great burger at your restaurant, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Definitely in the top 5 in Ocala. I'm still not done with my list, so it could move. But I thought the other day, maybe I should TikTok like movie recommendations.
Yes.
Right? And just see what happens, right? Well, most of my views come from if I have a really pretty girl with me or my son, because he's funny as hell, or people like watching pretty girls. So most of my views, I'm stuck in that world of 200 to 500 views.
Right.
Sometimes I'll get like 3,000 views on shit. But the movie TikTok that I was just trying to help promote, A Working Man, didn't really go anywhere. So I don't know. I'll probably try a couple more movies. But anyway, I like the movie. And I mentioned in the TikTok, it's just a kind of a kick-ass revenge movie. It's kind of like Taken meets The Beekeeper.
Well, interesting you say that. Same director as The Beekeeper.
Oh, there you go.
David Ayers, yeah.
So I liked it just because I like kick-ass, tough guy movies, right? Yeah. So it's pretty simple. And then it's Taken, kind of.
I saw the movie.
All right, what do you think?
I started your TikTok where you started to review the movie, and I said, you know what?
Oh, you did? Oh, all right. Really?
I'm going to watch this. And so Jess and I watched it, and I thought it was perfectly fine.
Yeah, thank you.
I thought the movie was...
It is what it is.
I knew what I was getting myself into. I knew it was going to be really violent.
It was.
And I knew it was going to be a little exploitative, exploitation style movie, because it's kind of gnarly in some parts. Like it's dealing with some pretty tough themes, but I had just a blast watching it.
Yeah, it's fun.
It was perfectly fine.
It's an action, kick-ass revenge. I'm going to beat everyone up movie.
You want a movie? You want a movie that's not a sequel, prequel, or remake?
There you go.
You want something that's going to be action-packed? This is it.
It is.
This is it.
And he's actually really good he is a good actor at what he does. Yeah. He's one of those guys that's only in action movies. But I bet he could act other stuff. He just makes a lot of money being...
I thought it was a better movie than The Beekeeper. Honestly.
Yeah.
I did, and I enjoyed The Beekeeper.
Well, and The Beekeeper is kind of silly at parts, right?
Yeah,
so that's probably why it's not as good. This really, there's no silliness at all. So I like it. I think it's great.
When you start dealing with you're dealing with the Russian mob and human trafficking, it's and what I appreciated about the film was when he threatens to kill people, like spoiler alert, there's a scene where a particular character he's tied to a chair with a rope and they're hovering him over a swimming pool.
Oh, right.
And the idea is that if Statham cuts the rope,
he's going in the pool.
And he's taped to the chair so he'll drown. And
that guy was a high level Russian boss.
yeah, so but you think a different movie would have had Statham get that information and then fake out,
or just leave him hanging.
Leave him hanging. You're stuck.
Right. No,
he cuts the rope. I was like, hell yes. Okay. So, but he does that several times in this movie where you think different movies have taught us that this bad guy is going to learn a lesson from Statham, but he's going to survive.
But what I do love, well, one, if you're going to go to the levels he was going to go to in this movie with an organization like that, you're going to have to you're going to have to take the whole organization down. Right. But what I love is when he got so high in the organization that the really high level ones are like, fuck it, we're done. This is done. Leave this guy. We're over this. We don't want to involve, and it stops, right? Yeah,
you start to see like the boss of the boss of the boss.
Yeah, all the way to the top, and they're like, "Yep, we're done. This guy's a killer.
We're not going to mess with him."
That's what I like. That's why I like those
kind of movies.
I like it, and it's just it's a high recommend for me.
Yeah,
for what it is.
For what it is. Okay.
Thank you.
This is not a family friendly movie. This is not for kids.
No.
This is if you're looking for an R-rated action film with a lot of brutality and violence and
get some popcorn.
Yeah.
Get some Coke Zeros or beer or wine.
I'm glad they're putting movies like this out in the theater.
It's at the movie theater.
It was at the movie theater. Absolutely.
Go out, go see it.
Yeah.
That's good.
Absolutely.
I watched Flight Risk.
All right, I started.
Oh, hold on. One more thing.
Yeah.
A Working Man.
Yes.
I'm watching the beginning of the movie, and, they show some credits at the beginning. I'm like, did that say Sylvester Stallone? And I was streaming it, right? I was at home watching this. I actually wish I went to the movies to see this, and I probably still should if it's out there. I said, did that say Sly?
Yeah.
He's a writer in this.
Well,
part of the screenplay.
Yeah.
That's
Sly is a hell of a good writer, right?
Exactly.
He wrote Rocky.
I know. And Staying Alive or something, right?
Yeah, he directed Staying Alive.
Exactly. Dude, Stallone, to me, is an American treasure, definitely in the movie world, but outside of motion pictures, right? This guy's an American legend. And when I saw his name there, he wasn't just just putting his name on there. You could tell that he's had some influence in the story.
This is why I think it's a better movie than Beekeeper.
Well, there you go.
It's well written.
So, listeners, what else do you want?
Yeah, exactly. All right, Flight Risk. So, okay, let me tell you something.
I tried.
Okay.
How far? See,
10 minutes.
You give up too fast. I knew you were going to say that. I knew
minutes.
That is not long enough, Dana. Make it halfway.
This movie it didn't make any sense. Why this film exists.
Well, I agree with you on that.
Directed by Mel Gibson, who...
What was he thinking with that? What are you doing?
Put your personal feelings aside about Mel Gibson.
Right.
I know in his personal life, he has done some awful things.
Strange things, yes.
You cannot defend, nor would I ever attempt to defend some of the things that he has said. That means, having said that,
yes,
the man is a very, very good director.
Right.
He directed Braveheart. He directed Passion of the Christ. He directed Apocalypto. He directed Hacksaw Ridge. These are all very, very good movies.
Excellent movies.
Okay?
Yes.
I am 10 minutes into a movie called Flight Risk, which is directed by Mel Gibson. And I'm like, this looks like shit.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know.
Like cheap, generic or whatever.
Cheap, like the CGI moose that was outside the guy's motel room at the beginning of the movie. I said,
well, the very beginning, I think there's some really bad CGI.
I'm like, this is awful. This is not a finished movie. Okay, this is a movie.
This is a Tubi.
It is a Tubi movie.
It should be,
but it's not a finished film. It's clear that the production ran out of money to finish the special effects, the CGI effects. It's crystal clear. The movie looked like shit.
Yeah.
It took me out of it. I said, I can't do this.
So the only takeaway I have is seeing Mark Wahlberg kind of go crazy.
Right.
Like that's the only thing worth the movie is watching him be a kind of a bad guy and deranged, deep, dark. So you didn't see all that.
No, I didn't.
So just seeing him be bad, really effed up in the head, like at multiple levels of fucked up. That's the only good thing of the movie's cheesy, and then the endings. Well, actually, can I say a spoiler or no?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. You don't give a fuck about
this. No, I don't.
All
Spoilers for Flight Risk, everyone. Skip ahead a minute if you don't want to hear this.
All right. Or just listen to this. And then, so throughout the movie, he's like sexually bad. He's like talking about how inappropriate he's going to be to this female FBI agent or whatever the fuck she is. And he's going to kill she has like the accountant of the bad guy as a prisoner or whatever. And Wahlberg's the pilot, but you find out Wahlberg kills the real pilot of this plane because they're trying to transport this guy, and he's hired to kill both of them. Right. Okay. From the bad guy. So anyway, he's bad the whole movie. They finally chain him up, in the airplane, and they fight through in this little Cessna. So anyway, she probably shoots him with a taser. There's a scene where he gets a taser for like 5 minutes straight, tasing straight. Somehow he's not dead from that. And I think she shoots him 3 times. So he's almost dead at the end. And she's cut him, and he broke his finger to get out of the fucking handcuffs.
Okay.
All right. So at the end, they finally crash land this plane, right? And he flips out of the plane, right? He's on the runway, right? And the plane's crashing. It's a stupid thing at the end. And you're like, is he really going to survive this thing? And the ambulances and fire trucks are racing down the runway. And this fire truck just blasts over Wahlberg and just crushes the shit out of him and then tumbles over him. It was an awesome end to a killing of this villain.
All right.
He takes a header off it. So anyway, that was the only watch, is to watch how shitty Wahlberg is and then how he dies.
Okay.
So that's it.
Maybe I'll fast
You're
forward
not gonna,
to that part.
Or you could do that.
Yeah.
Just do that. So anyway, the other thing I was going to say is that I know you hate Marvel. You don't hate Marvel.
I don't hate Marvel.
I take that. Can you edit that out?
No. I want an opportunity to respond to that.
Go.
I don't hate Marvel.
I know you don't. My bad.
It's not for me.
Right.
A 13-year-old Dana would have,
Yeah, my son's 9.
Who would have experienced, the Marvel Cinematic Universe starts in 2008. If I had been like 10, 11 years old and went on that journey all the way to 2019 with Endgame, that would have been amazing. But it's not for me.
So guess what?
Okay.
That's what I just did with my son.
Okay.
So for the last 3 or 4 weeks, I had the idea because I'm trying to engage him in just hanging out with dad at home.
Right.
Because we go to the movies and that's easy. He wants to go out and eat candy and popcorn. So I've engaged him at home. So it's our thing now. So we watched the universe, the Marvel, whatever, MCU or
He's
whatever.
The right age for that.
He is. He's 9, which actually some of the writing's probably more for 10 or 11-year-old. But nowadays, a 9-year-old, hears everything.
He's getting it, right?
Oh, he gets everything.
Yeah,
he gets all of it. And like my son's very, very smart. So he's seeing things, they're connecting from old, like we're talking about stuff we're seeing in one movie. And he'll bring up stuff that happened 3 or 4 movies ago.
Exactly.
So anyway, we've watched them all in order, and we just watched Endgame like last weekend.
Did he love it?
He loved it. He thought it was awesome. He thinks it's like one of the coolest movies he's ever seen because he gets all the character right. So it's pretty well freaking done. All right,
can't deny that.
So now we've watched Shang-Chi.
Okay,
and we're watching Spider-Man, which my son calls it Spooderman. That must be a thing at school or whatever, but. They reference Endgame, right?
Yeah.
And the 5 years where Thanos,
they call it the blip.
The blip, right? So those two are still good. Okay, good enough, right?
Right.
I haven't got to the point yet.
So you haven't watched the Eternals.
I have, personally, I watched them because I was just interested when they were coming out. So. It'll be interesting to watch these in order of this timeline now with my son. When do they fall off the cliff? But up to this point, I'm still good.
I think I can tell you when they fall off the cliff. Yeah. That would be Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania.
Yeah, I saw that
and
too.
Then the Doctor Strange movie.
They were both really bad.
They're not good.
Because I like the character. What's happening with those? I get all that. Yeah. I understand. It's amazing though, from a comic book that. They've come up with all this.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Fantastic Four, the next Marvel movie?
Of course I did. At one of these movies.
You know who it stars? Pedro Pascal.
No way.
Yes, absolutely.
Speaking of the other thing we were talking about, In Too Much.
I'm sure Giancarlo's in it somewhere. So
they should put him in there.
Absolutely.
Why not? They should be. You know what? They should be a cop duo movie
Make
where
a
they're two.
Lethal Weapon
they're-
remake with those two.
Yeah, there's your cop movie.
Pedro
remake. Put 'em
Pascal,
in
John
there.
Carlos.
Yeah, put them in.
There it is. There it is. All right.
And
What?
you know who their boss should be?
Who's that?
Who's
The Rock.
The Rock's the mayor, and
Right.
That, I don't know.
And you can use that cliche. The mayor's going to have my ass. The captain always says, the mayor's chewing up my butt. Rick.
Yeah. So anyway, there's our next movie. So,
All right.
All right.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think that's really cool that you gave Cash that experience.
And it's been great.
And I can say the Marvel movies, not for me.
Right.
I'm not, that's not my age.
I get it.
I'm not.
Right.
No. Don't get me wrong.
I cried. Iron Man's dead. I'm so sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad.
They just signed Robert Downey Jr. to come back and play the character of Doctor Doom in the next Avengers movie. What are we doing?
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
No way.
What are we doing?
They did not.
They did.
Oh
They did.
my gosh.
What are we doing?
I don't know what we're doing. That's why I like sports.
You know,
That's why I like sports. Sports, you never know what's going to happen. Live
Absolutely.
sports, you can't beat it. A story unwritten.
we watched Point Break last night, just on a whim.
The original?
Yeah, we had been out all day yesterday.
What a great
and
freaking movie.
we ordered some takeout food and we
Chinese?
just put, no, actually Sonny's Barbecue.
No way.
Yeah.
That's takeout?
I got the sampler. Yeah.
All right.
It was good. Point Break.
Yes.
It's a great film.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so much fun.
Maybe that should be my dinner in a movie. That movie kicks ass.
It really does. It really holds up too.
I got a lot of wives in that. So next Wednesday, I'll be.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love that movie though.
Yeah.
It's too good.
Yeah.
It's too good.
So
So anyway, how'd that go?
it's great.
Yeah, and you've seen it probably 5-10 times.
Yeah. Great film. I forgot how.
R.I.P.
Yeah. I forgot the Swayze's doing his own skydiving in that movie.
Yeah, pre Mission Impossible.
Yeah, there's a scene where he's like adios amigo or something like
He
that.
did it, right?
And he's holding onto the plane, and then like the camera pushes in towards him, and he lets go, and the camera looks down. And that's clearly him falling out of the airplane.
right,
Like
but we have 3,000 trailers saying Tom Cruise is doing his own stunts,
Yeah.
right? Which is amazing.
Yeah.
It's freaking badass.
Which
and
he
I
is.
can't, and
Yeah.
I will be
Yeah.
watching that next one coming out. But Swayze was doing it. He didn't tell. There's no trailers. A documentary of him jumping out of that plane. He just did it.
you know what's going to
he's
be
a
really,
badass.
really pissing. It's going to really, really piss off Tom Cruise. Is starting in 2027, the Academy Awards is going to have a new category for best stunt,
Nuh-uh.
best stunt, best achievement in stunt filmmaking.
And he won't.
Well, you
he'll be
can't
done.
retroactively
No.
go back, and you know what I'm saying.
No.
So he's probably like, "Damn it,
Let's be honest. He might have one of the best stunts of all time. The motorcycle jump or
that one's pretty. That was
Dude, that's
pretty
pretty
rad."
badass.
He really did that.
Yeah, I know.
He really did that 3 times for that shot. For me, that one's awesome, but still, Ghost Protocol in Dubai on the Burj Khalifa,
the building.
the building.
That's amazing. And then in this one, I saw obviously you've seen a trailer.
It's like
of the,
wing walking on a biplane.
Yeah, this he has no fear. I mean, you got to give him that. No fear.
And the irony of this, he'll probably get hit by a bus and crossing Sunset Boulevard, and that's how he'll go.
Or he'll get a little paper cut.
Yeah, he'll
at the
get some
beach.
kind of infection.
Yeah, some weird infection in the
He'll
Caribbean.
step on a nail.
Now, so you know who the best stunt of all time is?
What's that?
The truck driver of Bigfoot that's in
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Yeah.
Roadhouse. Hey, listen.
What?
What I love about Roadhouse is that particular scene serves nothing to do with the plot of the movie. We're already an hour and a half into the film, cut to a Ford dealership, and Brad Wesley's just going to run a monster truck through it for no other reason than we can.
Because
It's amazing.
Brad Wesley's the biggest asshole of all time. That's why.
Ben Gazzara. Okay. It's interesting that you even brought that up because I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that's our next audio commentary track is Roadhouse.
That's why it's in my little brain.
Oh, I love that.
I
Perfect.
can't wait for that.
Yeah, we're going to be recording that in just over a week from now. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I love that.
I wish we could do it now.
I know. Well, let's do it right now.
Why not?
All right, Bill. Listen, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Great
Follow I'm trying. I wish I had more followers on TikTok.
Please.
I could help, but I'm probably do more bad than good.
No,
but
what's
I
the
try.
handle? At Dollar Bill?
Dollar Bill Golf.
Spell that.
DOLLA
Yeah.
BILLGOLF.
Dollar Bill Golf.
Use that in a sentence. No, I'm just kidding. But I try to just be funny on there.
Yeah.
I try to help people out and
I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I actually had somebody, I had a buddy of mine reach out to me, and he sent me your Jaws dinner and a movie.
Oh, no.
But he goes, "You're TikTok famous." I said, "What do you mean?" He sent that link to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's awesome."
That's just me.
So yeah, I appreciate this. So Bill, thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, thanks.
And
thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're going to be recording next week. We're going to be doing audio commentary for the 1989 masterpiece Roadhouse.
I can't wait to do one of these live, like video live, like not live. Well,
Yeah.
we could
We'll
do
do it
live,
live.
but video. I want a video.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fuck it, do it live. I love that. Oh my god, it's the best.
I'll write the thing myself.
He's like gets up, he's gonna leave, and then
he's like tethered to the microphone cable on the chair. It's the best.
Do it live.
I can't believe anybody thought Bill O'Reilly. Everyone's like, I'm so surprised that Bill O'Reilly was such an asshole. I'm like, really watch that video.
That is one of the best meltdowns of all time.
We'll do it live. All right. What does that mean to take us out? What does that mean? That's a new. Here's a new cutoff. Sting's new album. What the fuck?
Do it live. Fucking word. Do it live.
If nobody knows what we're talking about, there's this great clip of a very young Bill O'Reilly having a meltdown, and here it is.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. Okay, I don't know. Whatever it is, it's not right on the teleprompter. I don't know what that is. I've never seen that.
No, there it is. We are going to do Sting, yeah.
Okay, but now I can't read it. There's no words on it.
Okay. Ready? Sure.
There's no words there. To play us out. What does that mean? To play us out.
Sting is going to do. It's a video. Sting video. Okay.
What is
for credits?
I don't know what that means. To play us out. What does that mean? To end the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, go.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it.
Okay. In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. And we will leave you with a. I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. I'll write it, and we'll do it live.
Right.
Fucking thing sucks.
In 5, 4, 3.
That's tomorrow, and that is it for us today. I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks again for watching. We'll leave you with Sting and a cut off his new album. Take it away.
That never gets old.
Oh, I could watch it a billion times.
That never gets old.
I mean, I'm crying right now. I can't watch that enough.
What does that mean to play us out? What does that mean?
I love meltdowns.
Yeah.
Either a press conference after a game or something like that. I just can't get enough of it.
I've never been a fan of Bill O'Reilly, and this just cements everything.
I'm glad that came up just so we could watch that again.
It never gets old. All right, Bill, listen, thanks for doing the show.
Thanks.
Everybody out there, my name is Dana Buckler, and thank you so much for listening.